Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Trump Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is in hot water over a reality show he filmed recently that was funded by firms he regulates. And now Duffy and his Great American Road Trip series are being shredded in epic fashion by former Biden Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Here was the segment on CNN.
I actually took a taxpayer-funded road trip lasting about 7 months. It was in Afghanistan. This is something very different. This is not about patriotism. And it is an embarrassment to have him going around saying that a road trip, quote, fits any budget at a time when more and more Americans cannot afford a road trip because of the explosion in diesel prices and gas prices caused directly by the Iran war and by the Trump administration.
That quote of Duffy saying a road trip fits any budget came when Duffy gave an interview about the reality show to a conservative news channel. The problem for many families, of course, is that since the Trump administration started the war against Iran, gas prices in the United States have risen an average of $1.50 per gallon. And the average price per gallon is now $4.50. That makes fuel too expensive for many Americans who might like to take a vacation road trip, never mind pay for their commute to work. Still, Transportation Secretary Duffy and his wife, Fox News anchor Rachel Campbell's Duffy, are gleeful about their YouTube docuseries and recently shared the trailer with Fox News.
We're inviting you along with our family on the Great American Road Trip. Stop scrolling and hit the road, mile by mile.
The Duffys, they've got tons of kids. I think they have like 11 kids. 9 or 11, something. Is there a difference?
Wow. And guess who's here? The Duffys.
We're here.
So, Sean, as Transportation Secretary, I assume this was your idea.
So I wanted to lean into America's 250th birthday. Rachel and I actually met on a road trip on a reality TV show.
Right.
And so over the course of 7 months, we just kind of found these moments where I might be able to do some work. I could take the kids with me, do a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
And our motto is to love America is to see America.
To love America is to see America. Okay, but how about loving America by helping America? Most Americans tell pollsters the Trump administration has damaged this nation economically and morally. And then, of course, there is the tone deafness of Trump and his team, including Sean Duffy.
To make road trips unaffordable and then go around celebrating your own road trip is exactly what people are so frustrated about. And part of why the Duffy road trip scandal has been such an embarrassment to the Trump administration is it's happening at the same moment that Trump is alienating voters by making it clear that he doesn't care. He even specifically said, right, when he was asked recently, that Americans' financial situation is not something he's focused on, not something that's on his mind. And this administration never misses a chance to show it. Then, of course, you have the issue of the corruption involved. I mean, the fact that you have a transportation industry lobbyist running an effort to funnel money from corporate sponsors regulated by the Department of Transportation to pay for this project is just nakedly unfair, wrong, and part of what people are so frustrated about in Donald Trump's pay-to-play Washington.
The production costs for the Duffy reality doc were reportedly covered by a nonprofit called the Great American Road Trip, Inc. However, the nonprofit's sponsors, at $1 million a pop, include travel-related companies such as Toyota, Boeing, and United Airlines. Each are regulated by Duffy's Department of Transportation. A nonprofit government watchdog group, Citizens for Ethics and Responsibility in Washington, or CREW, has now filed a complaint with the Transportation Department's Office of Inspector General, accusing Duffy of violating federal gift and travel rules. The watchdog group is also calling on the Inspector General to investigate. Duffy is hitting back at the watchdog group and other critics, including Buttigieg, by accusing them of whining and being unpatriotic. Here is part of the reporting and analysis on MS Now.
Duffy responded to these complaints, writing in a post on social media, they're upset because they don't want you to celebrate America. He went on to defend his trip, saying the ethics and budget officials of the DOT had already approved his participation in this series. I mean,
well, okay, then. So the companies, many of which have business before him, many of which he oversees, bankrolled this, right? We're talking about those companies. And also, We want to celebrate America. We're all going to celebrate America. We just want you to do your job and not be a reality show host.
The focus on self-promotion, of course, goes well beyond Sean Duffy. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, FBI Director Kash Patel, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., they have each engaged in PR stunts that go far beyond the usual bluster one would find in any administration. With the Trump cabinet secretaries, there seems to be a constant effort to get on TV, simply to impress the boss. Because after all, Donald Trump doesn't seem to care if an official possesses gravity, wisdom, restraint, or moral seriousness. Trump simply wants cabinet secretaries who are willing to fight, trend online, and get under the skin of Trump critics on cable news. But as Pete Buttigieg notes, for the public, the strategy raises a key question.
What's going on over there? If they're doing stuff like this and posting memes all day, are they attending to the actual issues that Americans are most concerned about in transportation? You know, we just saw quietly a Friday news dump out of the Department of Transportation at the end of last week saying that they were going to cut the target for air traffic control hiring, slash the air traffic control targets by about 2,000. I'm very puzzled by this. I don't know why you would be cutting down targets for air traffic control when the one thing I think most of us agree on is that there's a shortage around air traffic control. Maybe it's because they've been struggling to hire. I noticed that under my successor, the pace of hiring air traffic controllers slowed down dramatically to less than a dozen net new certified professional controllers compared to what we were doing on my watch. Maybe it's got something to do with that. I don't know. But clearly the priorities are out of whack, and the priority should be making sure that Americans have safe and affordable transportation.
Safe and affordable transportation. What a concept, right? But that is not the priority for Trump Cabinet Secretary Sean Duffy. Duffy has a reality series on YouTube that he wants all of us to watch. More Americans are going to be stuck at home watching their screens thanks to soaring gas prices. And while this may be news to the Trump administration living virtually through Duffy and his family, that is not the consolation most Americans are seeking. Did you know that the big wireless carriers like Verizon and AT&T made over $18 billion in profit last year? How? By overcharging you for unlimited data, most of which you probably aren't even using. But what if you could get paid to use your phone less and only pay for the data you do use? Well, with Noble Mobile, you can. For just $50 a month on their No Bull plan, you get unlimited data, and whatever data you don't use, you get cash back right in your pocket. People who switch to Noble can save an average of $500 to $1,000 a year. It's a no-brainer. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan. By the way, a lack of judgment is now coming back to bite FBI Director Kash Patel.
Government emails obtained by the Associated Press show Patel was allowed to snorkel at the Pearl Harbor Memorial in Hawaii last summer, one of the nation's most hallowed sites.
A Marine veteran trained to check on the site told the Associated Press, quote, "It's like having a bachelor party at a church." At the time of Patel's snorkeling excursion, the FBI insisted Patel was in Hawaii on official business. What the FBI didn't say is that Patel returned to Honolulu for 2 more days, and that's when he went on the private snorkel.
He not only was obtaining an outing for himself not available to the general public, but he was doing it at a place that contains the remains, the corpses of American patriots who died serving their country. It's really difficult for me to think of a more inappropriate place he could have chosen in the entirety of the United States and its surrounding waterways to essentially get a private VIP snorkeling tour.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.